Hello guys and welcome to another video, and in this video we're going to be doing a summer guide. We're going to be talking about the basics, we're going to be talking about how to min-max her and how to macro and stuff like that with her to get the maximum amount from your summer games and also help you learn and understand her kit so that you can get better at summer. If you guys have any questions after the video, maybe if I missed something or maybe if you there's something I didn't cover that you're not quite sure on, you can either ask in the comment section below, or if you really would like to get a fast response from me and even a demonstration if there is a need for, you can come to my stream. I stream every day at twitch.com/cynic_br. I will leave a link on screen and in the comments. So yeah, that's the basics of the video, and so let's get straight into it with the basics of summer. So let's talk about the basics of summer. So her left click is a flame which uses 1% of your heat bar every second that you're using it. The range is based off of whatever trait you take at level 1. I like to take the extended range flame, so it does a lot decent distance, because if you want to use it normally you have to stand like right close to them, whereas this one allows me to stand quite far back and still get a lot of value from my flamethrower whilst maintaining a safe distance. My right click is the Molotov, which takes up 48% of my heat bar, and it does 150 damage. 100 of that is a dot and 50 damage immediately. So as you see here, I hit him. See that flashing red bar? And they need to make it a little bit more easier to notice, but that is a 100 HP dot with 150 initial damage straight off the bat. That generates 48% of my heat. So when we have a vortex, which is I like to use when a Drakal jumps on me, or if I'm on like a Jonah that can't really get away from me, it does 25 per tick, and it generates again 48% of my heat gauge. And then we have the my shift ability, which is a dash
Here we go,
which doesn't do any damage behind you, but it is basically just a movement ability that again uses 48% of my heat gauge. And then we have the E, which is like a knockback. It won't work on these robots, but basically it does 50 damage, and it knocks back enemies that are either jumping on you or jumping on allies, and it also knocks you away from them also. Depending on what skill tree you take is depending on what other benefits that E also gives you. So that's the basics of summer. We'll get into more of the advanced stuff once I hit level 2. Let's talk about summer's power spikes, when you should be fighting and how you should be fighting, depending on who you're fighting against. So a lot of summers that I've seen will just do this. They'll see one guy across the map. Let's say for example this target over here.
Locals
is
active
an
on the
enemy,
scanner.
and I'll see them do this. Double dash, fireball, overheat. Oh, I'm dead. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Overheated now.
Ready for action.
It's very important that you understand and manage your heat gauge.
Bring in
Because
the
if
heat.
you do not manage your heat gauge correctly, you'll be in the middle of nowhere, you're dealing no DPS, and you're basically helpless at that point. So making sure that you understand how to manage it. So let's use this example. This right here,
Locals active on the scanner.
that is an Ajona. So the way I would like to engage an Ajona is I'd like to get close enough so I can use one dash and a fireball so that I can do that initial dot damage. So say it's an Ajona, I'll dash out, flame fireball, and I still have a good 20 odd seconds of fire left to just constantly chase them down, and that should kill them. If I don't kill them in that time, I just wait and I continue to chase once my bar is full up again. So another example of that when chasing is, say for example we jump on
Locals
this guy
active
here.
on the
That's an
scanner.
Ajona again. So we use our dash, fireball, and let's just say he grapples away, right? Most people will chase straight after. They'll just go dash, fireball, he'll go away, and then they'll dash again, and they'll overheat it again, so they can't follow up. So you need to make sure that you understand the timing of when you can follow up. So let's use that example again. We're gonna go on this. This is a
Locals
Jonah.
active on the scanner.
We dash, fireball, she's running away, wait a few seconds, jump again, and I still have that timing. Like, just, you have to be very patient and understand how to control your heat bar so that you can continue the chase, keep up with people, but still actually make use of your passive and keeping your flamethrower active. As soon as you start overheating, that's where problems start happening. So let's use another combo as an example. Let's just say this is a Drakal.
Locals active on the
The
scanner.
Drakal jumps on us, right? We're about to, like, I don't know. He jumps on us out of nowhere. Use your Q, and then while you're in the peak, use your E to knock back. You'll knock yourself back, but you won't knock him back. He'll be in the fire, and he'll have to use more dashes to chase after you. If he chases after you, look at how much heat bar I have. Q up, E back. And I can beam him the whole way across. And if he continues to chase me, wait for my cooldowns, Q again, and then he has to fight me in the fire. Summer is super strong. The Drakal cannot win a 1v1 unless the Summer either overheats, doesn't use the correct spells, or just misses spells. Like, I don't think you should be risking it by using the Fireball. Yes, it does a decent amount of damage, but if you miss that in a situation where a Drakal is on you, one, you'll probably panic and use another spell and overheat, or two, you won't have that DPS on him, so he'll just kill you straight up. So just make sure that you're using the safest spells, and make sure you understand that you need to use 2 spells at the start of the fight to get your heat gauge above 50%, and then you want to be patient on using other spells and understand that you need to play around your heat gauge. Hopefully that helps you understand how to use her in fights and how you should be using her. She is a bruiser. She is a really good initiator, but she also could be a very good peeler and dealing with like Drakals that are on your backline and stuff like that. But she doesn't really do well into like Tuskers because they can just blink away and kite her. Long range hit scan, obviously she's very weak against because she doesn't have that range DPS apart from the Fireball, which is decently hard to hit most of the time unless you play hundreds of hours, understand the directory of how to use her Fireballs. Like there, I just missed a standing still target. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more insight into how to use her in fights and how to min-max her heat bar. So let's talk about Summer's skill tree and which skill tree I would prefer to run on Summer based off my testing. So level 1, you have the flamethrower range is increased by 50%. That is huge. In my opinion, the strongest one of the level 1s. Or you have the refinery blast. Creatures struck by the flamethrower drops essence as they take damage. This is not a deal breaker. This doesn't really snowball. It doesn't really give you that effectiveness that the flame projectors do. So I would avoid the refinery blast at all costs. It does stack up eventually as the game goes on, but I feel like if you just want pure combat effectiveness, the flame projectors is better. Thruster pounce. Jump while using the fire pulse thrusters to drop on opponents, damaging them and knocking them back. The damage is 25. Knockback is something you don't want when you have a shorter range flamethrower, because if you knock them back, it might give them the inch that they need to stay and kite you. I don't think you should be using the thruster pounce. I think if you want overall just combat effectiveness, flame projectors is the number one level 1 that you want to go. Level 2, power spike is where you want to be fighting with Summer. You don't want to fight level 1, you want to fight level 2. Flamethrowers inflict 40% damage when the heat gauge is over 50%. So as I showed you in the previous part, once it shows heat warning on the dial, that is when your flames will turn from yellow to pink, and that is where your damage is going to really come from. It is amazing how much damage you can burn through a tank with once you hit level 2. Level 3, you have Incendiary Shot. Fireball leaves behind a burning area for 4 seconds. You have Magma Swarm. Magma Spiral creates a 50% more flame projectiles and increases damage by 20%. And then the Tune Spark Coils. Ignition Spark knocks back and 50%. And deflects projectiles. That is the useless one of the 3. It's very, very situational, and the likelihood of you deflecting projectiles is very slim. This is something if you're playing more around like a pure orientated comp, like you're against a Drakal and you're having a Jonah. I think this could be good. But overall, if you just want straight up DPS and straight up like solo power, Magma Swarm is going to be your best bet. The Fireball leaving a burning area is decent, but the likelihood of them standing in that tiny little AoE is very, very slim. unless they're AFK. So I think that the Magma Swarm is your best bit of dealing with like the current meta, which is like Drakals, Tuskers, and all that, because if they stand in that giant AoE, it does 25 damage in a tick, and if you can get them to fight in that area, you'll do a lot more DPS overall. So in my opinion, Magma Swarm level 3 should be your go-to. It doesn't generate more heat, it stays the same, 48. So definitely recommend taking the Magma Swarm over anything else. Level 4 cooldown protocol, time to recover overheat. That honestly doesn't really affect your engages that much. It just allows you to keep up chases with people, because it obviously you can get down to that 40% faster, so you can use your gap closer, or you can use another Q or something along those lines. Level 5, this is honestly up to you. I use Ready to Rock. But then my testing goes to 11. All that really allows you to do is allows you to use one more spell quicker during a fight. But the way I play Summer is like kind of all in. So I like to use Ready to Rock. So I think that they both have pros and cons. Ready to Rock allows you to overheat and still actually do a decent, like that's 180 damage. And you can use 2 quick melee attacks during your overheat. So you can stack 320 damage on someone, and also 160 of that is a dot, which will force them to go heal, especially if you're against a squishy. But honestly, if you just want more of a balanced playstyle and you don't really want to overheat, Ghost to 11 is the stronger of the two. But just for my playstyle, I like to use Ready to Rock. So it's really based off playstyle, this last one. But Ready to Rock is my go-to. So hopefully it helps you decide on what sort of skill tree you want to go on, Summer. Again, if you have any questions or you don't agree with the skill tree that I've decided to go down, leave it in the comments below, or you can come have a discussion with me on Twitch. Again, I'll leave a link in the description or on screen. Hopefully that helps you when you first pick Summer, or when you're trying to learn Summer.